If it's within a half an hour, it's on time.
That's true. We are live. Hello, YouTube.
Going to be an extra on the TV pilot tomorrow.
What's that?
Pilot for a TV show.
What show was that?
Oh, it's a fictionalized version of the film festival that I go to.
Oh, gotcha.
They had a sponsor reel this year where they kind of had the festival director's son going rogue.
Oh. Speaking of
It went
Jeff,
over incredibly well to the point where one of the filmmakers there decided, let's try to make it into a show.
hello, Jeff.
Hello.
I heard you guys had a good big show. I'm sorry I missed it.
We did. I mean, it wasn't the same without you, of course.
Yeah.
But we still had fun.
Good. It's a busy day.
Right.
Never is. Never isn't a busy day lately. All right. We are live.
Been a busy week.
Yeah, that too. Get the Facebooks. Oh, Facebook link for Mike.
You have a crap ton of links.
It looks more than what we're gonna do, so don't worry. I know I do have a crap ton of links. I did my homework.
You clearly did your homework.
Hey, I even listened, like I told you, I listened to Context Machine. I was ahead of the game on that too.
Wow. We did have fun recording Context Machine.
That was fun.
Yeah, I listened to the Big Show.
We were there.
Yeah, it was like an all-star cast on the Big Show today, plus me.
Yeah.
3 years.
Well, we had your Lego.
Yes. That kit looks so cool.
There, we got 5 minutes. Other place I want to post. The threads.
The threads were getting clothes on the show.
Yeah, we are.
Wait, you aren't already wearing your In Touch with iOS merch?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, Ben?
I'm wearing In Touch with the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Not the same.
There we go. Make sure it did. Mike's not waiting. He's not.
And Mike, free barbecue.
Let's do Blue Sky. There's a million people on Blue Sky now.
Yeah, maybe they can actually do a web version. No.
They do a web version. I'm doing it, using it right now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Let's see. Is that Blue Sky, that app?
No, I'm on the web. Oh yeah, bsky.app. Yeah.
Okay, it sends me right to the app. Let me try deleting the app here.
Can you install the app on a Mac?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't do that.
Okay.
There.
Oh, yes, you can.
See?
You learn everything, something new every day. And learning is half the battle.
That's exactly what they say.
That's the way it works. Oh, there's Mike. I got what I need. Hello, Mike Potter.
Hello, how are you?
I am
Oh,
doing
now
well.
it's really a party.
It is.
Now it's a disaster.
Is FS is where is his F?
Yeah, but we're watch band
FMEOTV.
buddies.
Well, I gotta switch mine.
Except I am switching to a new Mickey band I just got in for October. So
Well, we're watch band buddies for today.
I actually thought about that. I was wondering if you were still going to be wearing yours.
Yeah, I just really like it.
I do too.
When I start wearing fleece a lot more, so in the coming weeks, I'll probably switch to one of my other bands. But for now, I'm all about my my Rainbow Sprinkles band.
You know what? It really won me over when I realized that the sprinkles aren't just surface printed, that they're
Right.
like infused into the silicon. I was like, that is super cool.
It's super
So it kinda
cool,
won
which
me
means
over.
that each
Oh.
watch band is unique.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
and put it back on. Well, a week later, I'll put it on the new watch.
That's right. Did you get your midnight blue new watch, Dave?
Not yet. It's ordered. We'll talk about that.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. You ordered it.
I did. All right.
Good.
Save it for the show.
Good.
You pre-ordered.
I pre-ordered. Okay, let's do backup recording here. I always miss that. There it is.
Zoom always like washes me out.
And do this.
Yeah, I had to excuse me, start using webcam settings a long time ago to get the colors to not look like crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I can't do is zoom out enough so that I'm not a giant head, because of where my camera sits. I mean, to put my camera in a place where it's far enough away where you get to see more.
Wait, Jeff.
My display's in the way,
You're more than just a head?
mildly more.
Right. The camera has a zoom.
But, you know. See, I could do like this and it would still work.
But then it sounds like you're a mile away.
Right.
What do you guys have your lights set to? Your color temperature?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but if you want to hold on a second, I'll look, because the number is on the display on the back of the lights. Hold on.
Oh, no, don't. You don't have to do. I was just curious if you knew.
I'm at 5,400.
Maybe my remote
You're at
is
5,400?
alive.
Yeah, here's the remote.
I think the
Well,
batteries in the
5,400,
remote are dead.
that's cool. You're on the real cool daylight spectrum, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like I gotta do some adjustments again.
Yeah, I'd have to get up and look because
I'm not doing it.
the battery or the remote's batteries are dead.
Yeah, the road sucks. Be honest.
Yeah. To be fair, the remote is kind of crap.
Went through like 3 of them before I just got 2 others sitting up there that they kept sending me new ones supposedly.
Like I think I'm messing with, I think it's Zoom. Zoom's automatic.
Yeah.
Can you turn
something
that
screw-
off?
Yeah, I'm trying. Let's see.
Preferences, video.
Not much to adjust there.
Yeah. Do you have adjust for low light?
I
Turned off?
just turned that off.
I bet that'll fix it. What
What,
happens if I
turning it
do touch
on?
up my appearance? Do I look good?
I was playing with that earlier and I'm like, yeah, that's uncanny valley. Look at that. Woo.
Hello, I am Jeff Bot. Fellow humans.
Yeah, I think it's the adjust for low light is washing it out even more.
By
Oh, well.
command.
It is.
So I'm still kind of at a
man.
loss. Why did they call it Wonderlust?
Oh no, I never figured it out.
Usually by the time a keynote's over, I get the reference for the
Yeah.
event name, but I didn't this time.
Am I
Well,
the only
they-
one
they-
here who's geeking out over Ben's Cylon impersonation?
Wow.
Wow.
Right. You guys ready?
Not until Ben
Sure.
says by
This-
your command.
This was,
By your command.
oh, come on, do it like you did it.
By your command.
There you go.
That's what I showed up for right there.
There's
Bring
an
on the
extension.
Battlestar Pegasus.
There we go.
We're the only ones who understand what that reference is, aren't we?
We are, but
Yeah.
we all really enjoy it.
Cylons are quite a bit different in the later Battlestar.
They
Well, yeah,
are.
because they were basically neutered.
Well,
Well, there's,
I mean,
they're GI Joes.
Oh gosh.
in the later battle stars, at least you had some Cylons that you could get it on with if you really wanted to. In the earlier
Well-
ones, that would, I mean, okay, I stand corrected,
Just wait for the new Daleks coming next season.
right?
It-
Yeah, I
or would that be
realized
the-
there probably
the
is
Disney
a
acts.
there's probably like a Reddit channel just for people that are really into the original Cylons.
Honestly,
I
I don't.
am
I
not
don't even want to
judging.
look. I don't even want to look. I remember the toys. I remember the ship you could fly and shoot the little things out that would kill your fellow friends if they accidentally ingested it.
Yeah,
But
good
that's-
times.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome times.
All right, let's get going. Let's get going.
Dave wants to start. Dave wants to start. He wants to start.
In 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to episode 271 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and welcoming back to the show, Mike Potter, Mr. Mac Stock himself. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, we'd love to have you. We did a reaction time episode earlier this week on For Mac Eyes Only. Definitely
Yeah, that was fun.
had a lot of fun there. And speaking of fun, Ben Rathig's here. How you doing, Ben?
I am doing great, Dave.
Good. Glad you're here. As well as not last but certainly not least, Jeff Gammon's here. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing all right, and it's great to be here.
It's great to
What a
have all
fun
of you here. This is a great group, and yes, there was an Apple event this week, and we are going to talk about it. I'm not going to do a blow-by-blow discussion of everything that was announced, but we're going to get some good insights from the panel this week, and give it some thoughts. We got lots of links in the show notes, but that doesn't mean we're going to cover it all, but we're going to just give you some good reference. So why not get on and get started? We're going to forego the news this week only because the Apple event was the news. So I'm going to mix it up. Everybody starting with the order of the way the event went, but I want to start with what's going on with iOS. Hey, since this is In Touch with iOS, so let's start off with beta. Beta this week, as we expected, the release candidate was released shortly after the event ended. So I was brave, and on a couple devices I did install it on my iPad, my primary iPad, and didn't do it on the iPhone yet. But I'm going to probably wait till release day, which is Monday, September 18th, which is exciting for both iOS 17 and iPadOS 17. And it's definitely, as well as tvOS 17, HomePodOS 17, as well as watchOS 10. So those are going to be out. Ben, did you install yours already on all of your devices?
Every single one.
Yeah, and how are they running for you? They should be good. It's a solid version.
Yep. Oh yeah, remarkably smooth.
Definitely. A couple things of note was the release candidate did come with multiple new ringtones that were out there. There's another 20 additional new ringtone options and sound alerts available in that final build. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at this, but there is quite a long list of ringtones. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that, Ben, or not, but I didn't either. So.
Not yet, but I did think the alarm sounded just a little bit different today.
Did it? Okay. So they had one here showing in the image. I linked to 9 to 5 Mac here of braking. I'm curious to listen to what that sounds like. But yeah, that's one of the things that stood out that's new. But other than that, it's been pretty status quo with betas, and I'm happy to see that they did decide that that's going to be the final version, barring any issues with it. So notable in iOS 17, the messages have been now tucked into an interface where this has a cleaner look and a new check-in feature designed to let your friends and families know when to keep your eye. The standby on an iPhone is placed horizontally. It's turning yourself into a little home hub. I kind of like that, and I'm gonna try to do that when I get that on my iPhone primarily here. So, and then we know about SharePlay also is now going to be working in CarPlay, so passengers can play their music in your car as well. So there'll be some other notable things that's going to be coming later. We'll talk about in just a bit here, but why not jump into iOS 17? There is going to be a couple of features that aren't going to be released as we we're progressing here. So the journal app, which I know a lot of people been kind of looking forward to, that it allows you to reflect on your day, memories, complete texts and photos, music, all that fun stuff. Jeff, is that something you were going to use? Do you think you'd use the journaling app, or would you stick with what you use?
Well, okay, so I'm not using any apps for journaling right now.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to trying out the journal app. I did experiment with, was it Day One?
Yes, I have Day One.
At one point, and I just didn't use it, so I stopped.
Yeah.
But something like this that I have available across multiple devices, yeah, we'll see. Maybe this is something that I'll really use. I am looking forward to trying it.
Absolutely. And you got Mike or Ben? Would you use it? Are you going to do any journaling? What is something you might look at?
Not really, but I think it is telling that it wasn't even in the beta, that we're probably going to have to wait a while for that one.
Yeah, it seems so. Yeah, absolutely. How about Mike? That's not something you do?
I am notoriously bad at keeping journals. It's something that my dad has been trying to encourage me to do since I was this big. And I fail to do it every single time. I just am horrible at it. So the concept, as I understand it with this one, is that it kind of runs in the background and tracks what's going on in addition to allowing you to journal yourself, right? Do I have that right, or is that incorrect?
It's supposed to be just allow you to reflect on your days, your memories, complete with
the little
text,
ticklers,
photos.
you know,
it's just kind of
ticklers, so it kind of automatically stores information in there, so that when you go back and you look at a particular day, you go, oh, right, that's the day I did such and such. which honestly, that kind of thing works for me. If I don't know if any of you use it. I use MileIQ to track my mileage for my business. MileIQ is great, but it's interesting how when I go through and I catalog my trips, I can remember what I did on that day based on the route that I took. So if and same thing with Apple Maps, or not Apple Maps, I'm sorry, Google Maps, going back in Google Maps, your history and seeing, oh, on that day I did this, on that day I walked here, and then being able to instantly recollect everything that went around that trip, this little line, this stupid little line that's in Google Maps, and you can remember everything that happened. So if the journaling app offers that kind of functionality where I don't have to do anything other than just let it run and then use it as a means to remember or reflect, as you said, back on a day, that's interesting to me. Now, I do know folks who can really jump on a journaling app, but they're using paper and pen, or they're using notes, so I don't know, with notes being a thing, I don't know that a separate app to write journals is necessary. So I need to learn more about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see where that app goes. But for now, we're going to focus on what we're going to get. So a couple things that I will mention. I do have a link here in the show notes from Mac Rumors that Apple did share lists of all new features of all the OSs, which I was very surprised and impressed with. For iOS 17, iPadOS 17, macOS Sonoma, you just the links in there, and you just click that, and it downloads an actual PDF, and it has a full list of everything you're going to be able to see.
Okay,
it's
now
an
I'm
actual
interested.
PDF. Yeah, it's an actual PDF of all the new features. You go look at. I've already downloaded like 3 times, so I forget that I already downloaded. So, I'm used to reading some of the on the sales web. But, I have access to look at some of the sales stuff that Apple provides. They do a lot of like little brief lists of what to expect with iOS and others. And so, but this is like something like it's actually like a 17-page document for iOS alone.
And it makes you read.
It makes you read, but you know what? It really gives you a good view, because you want to know what everything that's going to be on iOS, and I think this is awesome that they're adding this to give people to be able to review that, which is really nice. Also, a couple things that are going to be of change with iOS, including it's now going to include what's called a grid forecast feature that'll let you know when cleaner energy is available during the release candidate that was released. That's going to be out. It's based on each person's location, and it's relative to the energy sources that are available on the grid in that particular place. According to Apple, it's actually even in areas with limited renewable generation, relative cleaner energy will still be available, but they don't provide where the energy information is sourced. So it's interesting. So another
Didn't that feature exist already, Dave? I thought that was already in there.
Yeah, I guess not, because
it didn't work in my area. I remember it didn't work in my area, but I thought that feature of identifying the best times to charge and whatnot was already in there.
Yeah.
My interpretation of that was that what we have already is that it knows, and if you go digging through settings, you can find like a list of when it charged and stuff. So your device can do the cleaner energy charging as long as you're in an area where the data is available. And I'm totally willing to accept that I'm misinterpreting this, but what I thought in iOS 17 was they made that more transparent, so you can actually see and plan your charging time based on when the clean energy times are, as opposed to just letting your device figure it out and do it when it's on the charger.
Got it.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I did find it here in iOS 16 And you're right, it does sound like it's just a on, off, and trust the phone to do the right thing type feature.
Yeah.
I should probably turn it on.
Totally turn it on.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get alerts on my iPhone when it's on the charger. And oh, never mind. That's the different alert. That's the optimized charging alert that I'm getting. So
Oh.
yeah, so I actually don't know when it's doing the clean energy charging,
Yeah.
just when it's doing optimized charging.
Absolutely. Just a shout out to everybody in the chat in youtube.com/intouchwithios. Guy Cyril's out there. How you doing, Guy? And then Cletus is in
Hey.
the chat. So hey to both of you, and there must be a few others watching. So welcome. And like I said, you can go to youtube.com/intouchwithios to see us while we record, as well as so you can watch us later too. So, yeah, the one other thing I wanted to mention too is, and this was something that went upon. You were talking about the passkeys. This is also a new feature with the Apple ID. The sign-in options was using a phone number on file or a trusted device. All three OSs, iOS, iPadOS, and macOS, are going to have updates, including these new sign-in methods and an Apple ID account. It's not going to be possible to with any phone number or secondary email address that's on file with the account. They were able to. This is in Mac Rumors. They were able to use it with a phone number and got it signed in. So there will also be a update later this year on iOS 17 that you could use a proximity sign-in feature, which will allow you to bring in existing signed-in and trusted phone or iPad in proximity of the new device being set up, pairing the devices by scanning an on-screen particle cloud. This is going to be something interesting to see how that works.
The particle cloud, like we see when we are setting
Apple
up a new
Watch.
device,
Right,
like an Apple
exactly.
Watch or or HomePod, whatever. Yeah.
So this is great. I'm really loving the fact that they're doing these things to make our lives easier to sign in and making it secure. Because passkeys is another thing which we talked about a number of weeks ago. This is some other layers of iOS 17 that's really going to be a nice thing to see with security. So like I said, links are in the show notes here. You can read through a lot of the details. We'll be talking about these for the next couple weeks. Otherwise, we'll be here a long time going through it all. But I think all the things that are here it's just, I'm excited. I think iOS 17 is going to be really good. I'm happy that Apple had this very solid this year, because there were a few bumps in the road with last year, especially iPad, where it was delayed almost 2 months, I think. Really good, exciting things to see. So before we dive into the big things that happened, like with the iPhone 15 and the Apple Watch, I wanted to talk about some of the events that really didn't get much attention. And one thing I'm going to notice, AirPods was also one that was announced. I'll talk about that right away. I'm very sad about this and kind of annoyed. And I think I'm not going to be the only one who is an owner of a AirPods Pro 2 with the Lightning connector. They did release the second gen AirPods Pro with a USB-C charging case that's going to now be able to order, because it also has the wireless charging cases. They're not going to offer it as a standalone purchase. So I think that's.
But you can get it as a standalone purchase.
Yeah, if you pay $249 for it, right?
If you pay $89.
Is there something new that I didn't find here?
What you didn't find was the AirPods replacement and service link, where you can go through that and you can order a case. Hold on, I will drop you a link.
Yes, please share that link and we'll put that in the show notes. I see.
And credit where credit is due. This is something Dave Hamilton and I were discussing on Mac Geek Gab.
Oh, that's what he was talking about.
And one of his followers for the podcast found this during the show and shared it.
Gotcha. So you have to go through and actually do a service on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I will caution this though. The new USB-C AirPods, while they're both Pro 2, the new ones are a different model. I would wait till someone actually tries to pair them with the USB the
Good idea.
lightning ones with the USB-C case before doing anything.
That's a good idea.
I mean, yes, that's good advice. And Ben, we can't wait to hear what your results are.
That's right.
Well, devil's advocate here, though, Ben, if it's offered
be
through the
me.
repair program, and you're contacting Apple to replace your case for your existing AirPods Pro 2, are they going to send you a case that doesn't work with it?
I don't
that's-
know. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I suspect it works.
Are,
I think
are they
Apple's
going to
trying to
send
keep
one with
things simple.
USB-C, I assume?
Or are they going to send you a refurbished Lightning one?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe you don't have a Lightning cable or charger sitting around, Dave, that you're that concerned about it not having USB-C.
Oh, I did buy the USB-C to Lightning adapter from Apple. So because I'm nuts and have every single adapter that Apple has probably ever made in the last 15 years. So go into my closet
So of
and I'm
course
sure
you
many
need
of
it.
us will be the same way does. We have
I
many adapters.
misspoke, Dave. It's $99, not $89.
Okay.
Well,
still.
I'm out.
Case.
What? That makes all the difference.
I know.
But we don't know if it's going to be a USB-C or a Lightning if you do it. So that's one thing we got to be aware
Interesting
of, so.
thing is when you say what you need. So what I did is I entered lost item charging case, and then for the model, it's AirPods Pro 2nd generation. You have two
Yep.
options there. One is USB-C and one is Lightning. So you can order either one, but it doesn't warn you that if you have AirPods in a Lightning case, that you better not order the one with the USB-C case.
Okay. So let's
No,
wait
but-
until someone else does it for us and then we can find out later. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good advice. Good advice.
They also announced iCloud was going to get some upgrades. You're going to have a 6 terabyte plan and a 12 terabyte iCloud Plus storage tier. And the same tiers that we already know that we have 50, 202 terabytes will be existing like we're paying now. But these additional storage availability will be quite a bit higher. The 6 terabytes going to be at $29.99 a month. While the 12 terabyte plan will be $59.99 a month. And if you compare Google's storage with those similar 5 terabyte and 10 terabyte storage plans, it's a lot less. So yeah, it's going to be
Not
interesting.
that much different, though, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, you got from well, that's true. It's $24.99 and $49.99, so it's a smidge up in price when it comes to iCloud, but that's good to see. I mean, it's been a long time that they've done any storage increase for iCloud. I mean, 2 terabyte for my family has been great. I'm sharing it with the family under the Apple One bundle. There's no word if that is ever going to get included in the Apple One bundle plan. We gotta look to see maybe later that might happen. Hard to say. Or the 2 terabyte plan may be the maximum, and then you just have to buy more storage. Like that's what you used to be able to do with the Apple One bundle at that point. So, but good to see that Apple has done some increases of that too. So, one other thing I'll say is that it is an end of an era, and I know our friend Brittany Smith is probably hi Brittany, that she's probably very sad that the Apple did officially discontinue the iPhone Mini.
So I have a question about that, and my question
too.
is based on not having read the articles.
Yep.
Did
Mine
Apple
too.
say? Did Apple say we are not going to make an iPhone Mini ever again, or did they just stop selling the current
Stop
iPhone
selling.
Mini? That's not the same as officially discontinuing, because they did this before, and we got an iPhone Mini again.
Jeff, we had the exact same question.
I
Okay.
am not surprised. As they say, great minds.
Well, they're saying it's discontinued because if you go to look it up, when you do the comparison chart, it does say, only available at other resellers. It's not
Well, and-
available.
Sure, and yes, so they are currently not making an iPhone Mini. just like they currently weren't making an iPhone mini until they were again.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
So the iPhone 18 or 19 may have an iPhone mini again.
right.
Yeah.
Possible.
Or the
So
SE4.
officially discontinuing the phone,
I guess it is kind of
I
a.
don't
You're
like
right. It
that
hooked.
wording.
It
And
hooked me.
and I'm being totally pedantic here,
No, you're right.
but yeah, so they have discontinued the current iPhone mini model. They have not officially discontinued the iPhone mini line.
Right. It's
Mhm.
not like iPod socks. You know,
That's right.
this is something that they may bring back again. I think it's pretty clear we're never going to see iPod socks again, though.
I know. And
Which kind of
because of that, they
disappoints me,
might as
quite
well
frankly.
just give the money back to the shareholders.
Exactly.
That's what they want to do.
I mean, all of it. Just shut down, give the money back to the
Yeah.
shareholders.
Give it up. Might as well.
You know what the problem was with the iPod socks? I was wearing them wrong.
See, that was a common problem.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Did you have
It
the
wa-
rash issue too? Or was that just me?
That wool. Oh, so
I
itchy.
know.
So let's talk about
We
the
just
iPhone
stopped
now.
Dave.
No, I'm just laughing.
We broke Dave.
No, they're just laughing because you guys are funny. So let's talk about the iPhone. So they announced 4 new models. It's the 15, 15 Plus, the 15 Pro, and the 15 Pro Max. Notably, the Max now has a titanium design, which is a much lighter weight metal in the iPhones that they've ever done before. And find it to be very interesting to see what they've done with the lineup. Really, I just want to just jump in and look at comparisons, because that's the first thing people probably going to ask is what is the big differences between the last models, the 14 versus the 15. So notably, there really isn't much difference, other than the fact that you got a bigger processor, newer processor, which is the A17 Pro chip. As well, that was and then the 14 had the A16, and I'm not going to go down and go through everything here, but I think the big thing that's notable is the camera pro system in the Pro. What was your first impression, Jeff, as far as the 15 and the 15 Pro and in comparison to what they talked about?
I liked everything Apple was showing us. I think another key feature to point out beyond the cameras is better support for on-device Siri.
Yes. Yeah, they really did a big improvement of that.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big thing. One of the big standout things for me was that this year, the 15 and 15 Pro in the 6.1 inch size are both so good that it becomes much more difficult to justify the extra, I think it's $200 to go to the 6.1 Pro phone than it has been in previous years.
Right.
Yeah. The 15 is pretty much a iPhone 14 Pro in an aluminum body.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I just
So
mouth
really,
there. Yep.
I think for the average person, and yes, I know I'm talking in an echo chamber here where there's a lot of other things that will come into play, but I think the big question for a lot of people will be, do I need to pay $200 to have a telephoto and macro lens?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, well then there you go. And if not, then just get the 6.1 inch 15. Now, to me, the big thing is if you're going to the Pro model, the Pro Max is an obvious choice.
Oh yeah,
because of just the whole package deal there. I mean, the 5x zoom. I mean that is a true Pro phone.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's really what you need to look at is it is a Pro phone. I mean, and that's why they did this, and they wanted to do a better distinguishing between the pro and non-pro, but just because you got to justify why would I spend this much on a pro when I don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing about the phones, I think Apple is telegraphing to us that they really, really would love it if we stopped putting cases on our phones, because they were telling us during the keynote the things they were doing to give the phones better gription. And yes, I know I just coined a term there, but they talked about the micro texturing so it's grippier and all of that. They were telling us, don't put a case on. You can hold it. You're not going to drop it. And if you do, it's super easy to replace it back. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. No. So the Pro really is a bit of a dramatic difference between the 14 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max. First off, they're not going to offer the 128 gig storage anymore, which is, hello, people were using this phone. Probably need 256. I went with 256 probably on the last two. But I actually decided this year to go up to the 512 because it wasn't a drastic, big increase in price, since I'm on the Apple upgrade plan. But resolutions are the same, and you got all the biometrics and the connectivity. One of the big things in connectivity, though, is you're going to get the Wi-Fi 6E, and this is only going to be available on the iPhone Pro, the iPhone 15 Pro Max. As far as the
6E is not on the iPhone 15 Pro, just the Pro Max.
I believe so. I was going to go back and look here. Let's see. I thought it was. Yes, I am correct with that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the
That's
15 plus will not have the 6E Wi-Fi, whereas the Pro will. Yeah. Don't. Oh, you know what? Yes, that's right. The 15 Pro Max does, and then the 15 Pro, I have to look at that, but I'm pretty sure that it does have it. So, yeah, it is kind of strange. I don't know why they would do that. That there must be a reason, and maybe cost. That they didn't want to add that cost to the 15 Pro or the 15s, the 15 models. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay. Just to be clear, I'm understanding right. The only phone that has Wi-Fi 6E is the 15 Pro Max.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I am not getting the logic in this at all.
The Pro
Why
has
would
it.
you not put
Let me make sure.
Wi-Fi 6E on a 15 Pro?
It does have it.
It does.
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
just checked.
Okay.
I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm okay with the logic here. Okay. It's another
I just
it's
pulled it up
another
'cause I was
artificial
curious.
distinguishing factor between the 15 and 15 Pro, but that's how distinguishing factors work. Of course, they're artificial.
Yeah, it'd be smart. I'd just use the comparison grid on Apple's website. So
Yeah, that's what I pulled up. Yeah.
okay, good. Yeah,
It's
so
too easy.
If only I had a device in front of me that would allow me to very quickly pull up Apple's website and go to the comparison chart. If only.
Yes.
you should, but yes, they do. They both have it.
Right, and I should.
Anything else that stood out to you guys as far as what they released? I mean, I like this titanium material on the Pro series. I think it's going to be cool. The colors are fun. I mean, every year they always have different colors. And this year
Colors are awful.
Yeah, I know. I said something like you, but Mike, I like to get your opinion on the colors. Yeah,
The
You
colors
just
are awful. They're absolutely awful this year. They're so muted and dull. That's one of the things that stands out at me when I compare the 14 and the 15 is how much brighter and vibrant the colors are on the 14. Even that slate blue is so much brighter than that awful grayish blue that's on the 15. These colors are awful.
I have a hypothesis on the colors, at least for the non-Pro models.
It's why you should get a case.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Here's my hypothesis. They're doing this totally new thing where they're infusing the color through the glass. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's how you're actually getting the Apple logo. It's not etched in or something.
Mhm.
It's through a color infusion thing. My guess is that, excuse me, to get the consistency they wanted, they had to go with more muted colors. And as they refine the process, we will start getting more vibrant colors.
We'll know when product red comes out.
Right?
in the
We'll know they
spring.
fixed it.
Or if is
Yep.
it, or will it be like product pink or
Yeah.
product,
Product pink.
product
Yeah,
pastel?
well, they have that now. Yeah. No, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of the colors.
Also, speaking of strange things here, the 15, the USB-C port will remain at lightning speeds. So even though it's a USB-C port on a 15, it'll be the same USB limited to USB 2.0 speeds of 480 megabit, which is equal to a lightning port on previous phones. And go ahead.
This did not surprise
that-
me at all.
No.
And in
It's
fact,
like-
I was
it's-
predicting it.
Yeah, it's like that on the iPad 10. For the most of the people buying the regular model, they're not going to be doing anything with that port except for charging.
Right. Yeah.
If that.
If that.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah. Whereas
Maybe
the Pro.
the-
Go ahead.
Maybe the odd accessory, because, well, one of the things we did learn this week is that a lot of the USB-C Android accessories are updating their firmware to work with the iPhone 15 because, well, they'll make a crap load of money doing so.
Yeah, they'd be
Yeah.
dumb not to.
Yeah,
Um,
for those higher speeds that you get on the 15 Pro, and I haven't checked yet because it's been busy this week. Is Apple making it very clear that you need the better cable, the accessory cable to get that? So the
Right.
standard cable that the phone ships with does not give you the higher throughput.
No. That's why I bought this Hitachi one. Just got it today.
Awesome.
Showing it on camera. USB-C, USB 4. And that's 240 watt and 40 megabit speed. So
You ever notice every time we get a new phone, if that phone is $800, we have to spend $1,600 on accessories to go with it?
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's some good design right there. And by that I mean from the standpoint of designing something where we are compelled to now buy tons of accessories.
Yeah.
Like we're Apple geeks or something.
It's
Yeah, well.
it's kind of like that.
they
I
got me
like
to buy the USB-C to lightning adapter. So
Yeah. Didn't you say you already have yours? Or
It,
did you already order yours?
I ordered it. That was a new item. So yes, I ordered it. It'll be here tomorrow. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be interesting. The other thing too is they're saying the Qi charging is about the same speed. That really didn't change much. You thought maybe they would have upgraded that. They didn't. So I'm curious to see where that goes. It's 7.5 watt charging. With the fast charging has not improved with MagSafe. So, but that doesn't seem to appear that they are supporting the Qi 2 charging functionality. I know, Ben, you were talking about that in a prior episode. So are you surprised that this isn't on this phone?
I mean, right now we're not entirely sure what Qi 2 is.
Okay.
For all practical purposes, it could just be MagSafe for Android phones.
That's true.
So yeah, we'll learn pretty soon when all the accessories come out, because people with iPhones are going to be testing them.
This is for sure. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it is definitely going to be interesting to see where things go. When you really compare them, I mean, as far as looking at, are you going to upgrade? If you have the 14, I don't think too many people are going to want to upgrade.
Mm.
15 be fine, but you're, I know, Ben, you're thinking about it. You're on the 12 Pro Max, and some are on the 13 Pro Max. May
Yeah,
think of it, and of course, anything older than that, it's kind of a
Yeah,
no-brainer at this point.
Oh yeah. I mean, plus there are several features of the 15 Pro Max that have me very interested. Especially that GPU with the hardware ray tracing.
Yeah.
It's lighter. It's got a way brighter screen, which is going to be nice for those summer days. That USB-C port is actually 3.0 and useful. No, it'd be 3.2 because of the 10 gigabyte or gigabit output. I mean, to be perfectly honest, with the 8 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes of memory, that phone is probably powerful enough to very comfortably run Mac OS.
Well, Ben, you can hook up an HDMI display to that phone.
Yes, you can.
And there was a time where I was saying, I could see a point where Apple released a device, like an iPhone, if you will, that is our complete computer, and it's everything.
Yeah.
And it just goes in our pocket. And when we get to our desk and we plug it into different things, then it takes on different properties based on what we've connected it to.
Yep.
And being able to plug in a 4K display into an iPhone, that makes that somewhat crazy idea I had suddenly a little more plausible.
Yep. And I do have an article in the show notes that I linked upon this from Mac Rumors, that all iPhone 15 model displays are going to support DisplayPort up to 4K of HDR video output to an external display. You also can use the USB-C digital AV multi-port adapter to mirror and video on any iPhone 15 with HDMI.
Mm-hmm.
So you're definitely going to have that as well. Whereas the Lightning was limited to 1080p, you're now at 4K. So one thing that won't work is Stage Manager. They didn't think, they're not going to put that on an iPhone. That'd be a little crazy, but good to see that the port really has added some pretty good tech. So not only did they have to upgrade to USB-C, they're really supporting these updated speed capabilities. So a couple of things I'll mention before we move on to the Apple Watch here. eSIM only is going to be still exclusive to the US. The rest of the world is going to get a SIM tray, so you're going to see that still. So the US is all eSIM, but the SIM trays still will be in the other countries. Be interesting to see what spec causes that to beef up the phones when they have that SIM tray, because that's the whole reason of not having that, is to take away taking up space in the device. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where things go with this. You guys have any other final thoughts? Are any of you going to upgrade at all, besides me, of course?
It will happen eventually, not at launch, but I mean, it has all the features I want. I actually like the blue color, so it will be replacing my blue 12 Pro Max. I might just have to buy it all at once instead of an installment.
Okay. And Ben, I'm in the same boat as you, trying to decide when to do the upgrade, because I'm on a 12 Pro, and and I'm on Mint, which means that I can't do
don't get
monthly
upgrades.
payments on my Apple Card,
right?
Which I think is just a crap move.
I agree.
So so what I need to decide is which month am I okay dropping $1,100 on a phone.
It'd probably be closer to 12 or 1,300 after taxes.
Right. Yeah.
And Mike, you're going to stick with what you have?
I have a 13. I'm happy with it. You know, it's interesting because I was going through Apple's comparison charts earlier today, partly because we were doing the show tonight, but also because I have a family member who's looking at upgrading their iPhone 6S.
Yeah.
And you know, look, they're on a 6S. So that means their demands aren't that high. They need a phone, they need something that can play their games, they need something that they can play on Facey Spacey with. But I purposely pulled up the 14 and 15 to see really what kind of differences we had between them. And as I was going through the different models, it was interesting to note that the 15 Pro Max and the 14 Pro Max showed the least number of differences between them, which is probably why Apple is no longer selling the Pro Max 14.
Well, they've always done
because
that.
it's just too darn close. There are technical differences, but I'm looking at this from the every user standpoint.
Sure.
And sure, I can point out every little nitty gritty technical advancement, and that's fantastic. It's wonderful that they're improving the phones as they are.
Mhm.
But day-to-day user, I don't know that they're going to notice that difference between the 15
Yes.
Pro Max and 14 Pro Max. Then you look at the 14 and 15, and that's where the differences were the most stark. And yet even there, the differences weren't that great. It basically came down to the camera, dynamic island, and what the resolution of the camera and what else? Not much, not much. There isn't a whole lot of difference between the two. Just out of curiosity, I pulled up the 13, which they still sell. I'm not seeing many differences here that really would compel someone to pick the 14 or 15 over the 13. And yet the 13 is still available at $200 less than the 15.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy with the 13. I think it's a fantastic phone.
Yeah.
I don't
can
depend that much on the camera. So,
I mean, I can tell you this, if USB-C and hardware ray tracing were not features in the 12 Pro Max, I would be quite happy with my 12 Pro Max going forward. It's still a phenomenal phone.
Yep.
All right.
So-
Well, love to hear what you guys do. If you send us some feedback at feedback@intouchwithios.com and let us know what you did. Did you upgrade your phone or did you not? We'd love to hear from you. Let's move on to the Apple Watch. They did unveil the Apple Watch Series 9 as well as the Ultra 2. Both pretty substantial upgrades. The significant improvement is going to be thanks to the new S9 silicon chip, as well as it was internally redesigned. It's got a lot more faster than the previous Series 8, they say. And the precision finding is something interesting that's going to be working with it. It's going to be more deeply integrated with the HomePod. We'll see what happens when it comes to that. I'll be curious to see how that works with the way HomePod works. And it does have a much brighter display. So they've added that. And then, of course, the thing that they had is to do the double tap hand gesture for interacting with the device without touch. So it's got, you can double tap your thumb and your index finger together, and it'll answer your phone calls on your watch. It'll switch through some of the displays, so you can go through the weather and some of the other apps and the widgets. But Jeff, didn't we already have this in the accessibility and just never really used it?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Accessibility gave us gesture controls, and so it wasn't the tap thing. It's the pinch and the clench, and that gave us control over certain features of the phone for navigation, and like for launching specific shortcuts. So the gestures that we have prior to the Apple Watch Series 9 are navigation focused. What we're getting with the Apple Watch 9 are the common feature control things. So what is the primary button on your screen at the moment? Go ahead and
Right.
tap it or double tap it. So you get a phone call, boom, you've answered. You need to stop a timer. There, you stopped your timer. And then some other related tap gestures for that. So this is an expansion on what we already had, and it clearly focuses on a wider audience for use.
Yeah, for sure. Siri is actually going to be much quicker with responses now because it's actually going to be processed on the Apple Watch, making it more fast, making it faster and more secure. And it'll also increase health data for the first time. It's because of that. The dictation on the Series 9 is also about 25% more accurate than the Series 8, thanks to secure on-device processing. And it does retain the same battery life. It's at 18 hours. It does have the ultra-wide band support, so you're going to, like I said, the precision finding for an iPhone is going to be available for the first time, just like the iPhone can with an AirTag. So they add some precision finding on the watch as well. So it is definitely going to be interesting. And then, of course, the bands made a big deal out of is it's the fine woven bands. No longer is there going to be any leather on any Apple product any longer. I was curious that I don't remember them saying this. What was their reasoning why they're going to go off of leather? Why not they're going to sell leather products anymore?
It's part of their environmental initiatives.
Environmental. That's what I thought.
Yep.
So
when they announced it, I was expecting there was some kind of announcement related to watch bands, because the day before the keynote, the Hermes leather watch bands were pulled.
Right.
And then they make the announcement and no leather. And I thought, wow, that kind of wraps it up for Hermes. And then they announced their non-leather products that they're doing in association with Hermes. I'm like, oh, okay. So they figured that out. Then after the keynote, Hermes says, and here are the really cool leather watch bands we're making for Apple Watch, which I thought was kind of funny. So they're still making them. They're just not part of an official Apple package.
I thought they did offer their own package of the iPhone Series 9 with their bands.
You can
it just wasn't through Apple.
You can get the non-leather bands from their packages, but I thought their leather bands were just a separate purchase. And I might be wrong. Like I said, it's been a busy week. But regardless, you can still get a leather Hermes band one way or another.
Yeah, you can buy it on their site as opposed to just directly through Apple. So is there any compelling reason to upgrade at this point? I'm on the Series 7, so I decided, okay, I think it's time for me to upgrade because, it's a couple versions back now and looked like some interesting features. And they gave me a good price on the trade-in too. I'm getting $155, which I think is more than fair for the Series 7. So that won't sting as much when I'm buying. I'm just going with the 45 millimeter and just the non-cellular version. Don't need that. Never did. I was being a little frugal here, or being a little crazy, spending a little extra money. But this one does have cellular, but there's no need for it. I've talked about that many times. I have my iPhone with me all the time. There's no reason for you to have cellular service on a watch unless you're always going out without your iPhone, and I never do. So
yeah. As someone who has ventured out without my iPhone, I don't find the Apple Watch cellular to be particularly reliable.
Yeah,
especially
when tiny antenna,
especially on the T-Mobile network.
Okay. So colors are going to be a pink option. So all the ladies out there who like pink, they're going to be happy. They can get their pink watch.
Or guys.
Along with, or guys, maybe guys like it too. Sure. Starlight, silver, midnight, which I'm going with the midnight color. Back. It wasn't on the 8, now it's back on the 9. There's going to be stainless steel versions, which are more money. You've got those are the boring colors, as Mike says, but like the iPhone, the silver, gold, and graphite. So
no, the blue on the watch is awesome.
Yeah, the blue on the standard, not not the aluminum one is, yeah, it's
Not, yeah, the aluminum. Yeah.
yeah. So, and then he also unveiled the Watch Ultra 2, which is featuring the S9 fast chip as well. You talked about this on Context Machine, the SIP, right, Jeff? And that is what does that stand for? The SIP?
System in package. And
Yes.
see, I sound like I'm on top of it and I know what I'm talking about. But if you go and listen to Context Machine, you'll hear me talking about how, wait, what does that mean? And doing Google searches and yeah, system and package.
Yep. So it does have it has the new double tap gesture. The brightness it's absolutely brightest ever. It's now at 3,000 nits, which is a 50% brighter than the first generation Ultra. And it's the brightest display they've ever designed. So even for dark rooms and early mornings, the display can be lowered to just a 1 nit. It's not to disturb people. And then the flashlight also
is out.
Yeah, bring your retinas on. The flashlight also benefits from the new display architecture, and it also is the rotating digital concept relay doubles as a brightness to better light up the immediate environment. So much faster watch. It does have, like I said, the same gestures. Got some new bands. It's a good looking watch, but it's also $800. So. It is a nice watch, and there's no question. I really like the fact, I'm a big guy. I like to have a nice big watch. I've always, in the past, before I was always wearing an Apple Watch, I always had the larger size watches, but it's hard for me because of what that watch does. A lot of fitness and a lot of hiking, a lot of outdoor stuff. But I don't, Ben, you were talking about, you're thinking about going with it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it looks definitely impressive. And with that larger display, and faster processor, especially with the on-device Siri, it could be appealing, but then again, I also have to buy a new iPhone this year, so
Yeah.
I may wait for the Ultra 3. Plus, talking about boring colors, there's one of them.
Yeah. There are some boring colors. One of a couple things that weren't announced that was of note. Apple did double the space on the Apple Watch. It's now went from 32 gigabytes to 64 gigabytes. So you've got a lot more storage capabilities on the new watch, which is great.
Yep.
This is definitely going to be an interesting way where it goes. We talked about it, Watch OS 10. Obviously, going to be some faster improvements on the OS. I'm not going to talk about that today. That will also be out on September 18th. So we're going to be able to get excited and have at least next week's show. We'll have to have it in our hands for a few days and finally give our official thoughts of where the OSs are. So definitely it's going to be interesting to see here. A couple more things about the AirPods Pro, the USB-C version. This of interest to you probably, Jeff, is the lossless audio with the Apple Vision Pro will be limited to just the USB-C version of the AirPods Pro 2. There is going to be it's going to be restricted to just those versions. So, like you said earlier, Ben, on the AirPods Pro 2, that there is some differences between this model versus the new model. What do you think, Jeff, on this? Unless, go ahead, I'm sorry. I just wanted to finish with Jeff here. I called it his name here, and you're muted.
You're right. Huh. Apparently I was muted. Okay. So the lossless with the Vision Pro, okay, that's cool. We're making a step in the right direction.
Yep.
However, the Vision Pro has speakers in it, and they're supposed to be really good. Why do I need to use my AirPods with Vision Pro?
Privacy.
How is that going to change privacy? The speakers are they're right here. They're not broadcasting sound out. They're broadcasting sound in. Yeah, see, I mean, I like the privacy idea.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was like you had a little boombox on your head and so everyone's hearing the sound, then sure, I could see, oh, I better put my AirPods in so no one else is hearing. while I'm watching the Flash movie, and then I have to be embarrassed because now everyone knows what a horrible movie I'm watching. By the
Oh,
way,
God.
I did not get through that movie. But
I,
seriously,
I saw
why?
your toots about that. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's like 20 minutes I went back. Um, but yeah, I want to know, like genuinely, I want to know why AirPods Pro with the Vision Pro. Why does that even need to be a thing?
Yeah, I was kind of wondered that myself. It's definitely interesting. Do you have any
Can't
thoughts
be
on
for
this,
the
Mike?
microphones.
I'm,
There's
I'm,
microphones in the Vision
I'm
Pro.
I'm envisioning someone wearing their AirPods with their Vision Pro and then one falling out and they've got the Vision Pro on and they're trying to find their AirPods and they can't because they're seeing some like virtual version of the Grand Canyon and they have no idea and they're worried they're going to step off the edge and that's just all hell breaks loose. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with Jeff. Just use the speakers built into it.
Yeah, no,
The-
because they
I
were
had no
demoing with
point,
them.
Dave. I had no point.
So, closing thoughts. So, are you guys going? Are any of you going to upgrade to an Apple Watch Series 9 or an Ultra? I know you said you were going to go with the Ultra, Ben, Ultra 2.
Yep, possibly. If I do get one, it will be the Ultra 2.
Okay. How about you, Jeff?
I'm rocking a Series 8 today. And while I like the features in the Series 9, I just can't responsibly justify replacing my watch. The Ultra 2, I am absolutely the demographic for that, but I don't like wearing big watches. So I would be buying a secondary watch to use when I'm out hiking and doing all that outdoor stuff. I'm not going to do that. So as cool as the new Apple Watches are, nope, I'm not getting one this year.
Okay. And how about you, Mike?
You, I tend to get these unnatural attachments to my watches. I wear a watch and I just love it. And I had the Watch Series 3 up until January. And thanks to a generous friend, I upgraded to a Watch Series 6. And it got it to me way below what it should have sold for. And it took me at least 2 weeks to not be swapping the watches on a daily basis because I just liked my Series 3. I get these attachments to watches. I love watches. And so the 6 does everything. I'm now strictly on the 6. It does everything I need it to do. I'm sure if I got a 9, I would find something in it that I couldn't do with the 6. And I'm sorry I waited that long, but no, I am, however, looking at this new Blue Flame Nike Sport Band. That's pretty awesome. I like that.
A lot of cool bands they've come out with.
So a lot of cool bands, and you guys got me going down this heck hole of shopping bands while we were talking about it. And there are some awesome bands in here. So I gotta shut that screen off.
Yeah. It's almost like Lego.
It is almost like
It's
Lego.
a lot like,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So before we wrap up, we've been talking about it every week. I've been mentioning it, but we got the guy that runs MacStock, and we know the virtual pass has been out there. And Mike, since you're here, you could tell us about it because I've been doing it every week for the last few weeks.
You have done it. Yes, you've done an amazing job. You certainly don't have to do that, Dave, taking that time away from your show to do that, but it's very awesome of you to do so. And yes, the digital pass is available. I will only correct your generosity in that one way because I don't want to confuse people. The virtual pass was the live stream.
Okay, gotcha.
That was the live stream. I have to redo this. I have to rethink this whole thing next year because I did not think through that naming all that well. So the virtual pass was the live stream. I take the full blame for that. It's not you at all. Virtual pass was the live stream. Digital pass is what the folks who were in attendance, as well as those who want to attend after the fact, can purchase from the MacStock site. And yes, it's always takes a little while to go through and make sure the videos are edited, and we got titles on them and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the equipment that we used this year, and the volunteer we had, Roger, who just did an amazing job running the system, sure made it easier for me. And the digital pass turned out great, I think.
It did.
Got some nice compliments on it so far. And yeah, it is. Thank you. It is available at max.conference.com.
All right, great. Yeah, it's the links in the show notes. I went back and watched my own presentation, and I was like, wow, that really turned out really well.
Right?
Not only just me
Your
doing it,
presentation
but
did turn out well.
the video was very good, very good quality.
There was not one presentation that didn't turn out well. They were all, I mean, if you just discount that guy who opened it every day and like did
Don't
the little
talk about Chuck
interstitial-
like that.
Well,
That's right.
That other guy.
the other guy, the little interstitial, commentary and all that lame stuff that he interject. If you cut that guy out and you just focus on the speakers, the presenters, and the short film festival participants, and the amazing Mac Geek Gab panel, if you just focus on all of our presenters and those wonderful extras, we just had the most phenomenal weekend of MacStock, and I think everyone's going to just really enjoy it.
They were. So
Yeah.
go there, max.conferencingexpo.com, buy that digital pass, and I will correct that.
And for anyone, but I should say, I have to say this, for anyone who wasn't there, who doesn't know how self-deprecating I was being there, the person I'm talking about who was opening and interjecting comments was me. I'm not, we're not talking about Chuck or anybody else. That was me I'm making fun of.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. And let's go ahead and wrap things up for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Mastodon at intouchwithios. Support the show by buying me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We would really appreciate it. You can also become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe you'll be notified when we are live streaming, which is Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern at 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios. Thank you to Cletus and Wayne and Guy and any others that were lurking out there or watching us on the stream today. And please go there and check us out, because you can also listen to past shows as well as watch the feed that we did. And I leave them up there, so go check that out again. You can also visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics we discuss are flipped into that magazine. The link is in our show notes. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and many others. But better yet, just go to our website, intouchwithios.com, where all the ways to listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Mastodon at DaveG65. And Mike Potter, as always, thanks so much for being here. Where can people find you?
Thanks, Dave. This has actually been a lot of fun. It's always fun to be here with Ben and Jeff and you, of course. Folks can find me at formaceyesonly.com or on Mastodon, tooting.ninja for Mac Eyes Only. And also on YouTube, youtube.com/FMEOTV.
Great. Thanks for being here. Ben Rathick, always a pleasure having you here. Where can people find you?
Well, Dave, you can find me in the cornucopia of social media networks at Ben Rathig. You can find my thoughts about Apple tech and other tech at rathig.tech on Tuesday nights. You can find me on In Touch with iOS with Mr. Chuck Joyner, the guy who wasn't screwing up MacStock, on Thursday and Fridays. You can find me on the Burst Tech Network with Mr. Jeff Gamet, the interim host of the Big and Mac shows. Of course, I am also a regular contributor here on In Touch with iOS.
Thank you, Ben. And last but certainly not least, Jeff Gamet, as always, a pleasure having you here. Where can people find you?
It's always a treat. I seriously have fun. I just love this, and I love hanging out with all of you.
Yes.
All right, social medias. Jay Gamut on the various platforms that are out there. Just go to Mastodon or Instagram. That's where you're actually really going to find me, though. And then for shows, actually before the shows, Mike, I am trying to come up with a clever acronym off a VHS for the recording package that people buy for Mac stock after the fact. And I just think it'd be incredibly funny. You get your VHS package for Mac stock, and it's just the streaming digital stuff.
We will talk off the air about this, Jeff, because I actually have an idea for next year's t-shirt, and it ties in very, very well with
I am
your
looking
idea
forward
there.
to chatting.
Yeah.
Very much so. All right. So when I'm not collaborating with Mike on ideas for next year's Mac stock, on Tuesdays, I'm on Chuck Joyner's In Touch with iOS. Nope, that's this show. This show is In Touch with iOS on Thursdays. Okay, I'm doing shows out of chronological order. On Thursdays, I'm on Dave Ginsburg's In Touch with iOS. On Fridays, I'm on the Mac Show for British Tech Network. Then on Tuesdays, I'm on Mac Voices Live, which is Chuck Joyner's show. Then back on Thursdays for the British Tech Network's Big Show. Also, this week on Wednesday, Brian Chaffin and I recorded The Context Machine. And on Tuesday, Dave, I was on Mac Geek Gab, Dave Hamilton show.
You can find them anywhere.
There we go. I did them out of chronological order. You're welcome.
No worries. And thank you for listening. And thank you, Jeff. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed doing it. And we'll talk to you next time. Thank you. Great job. Appreciate it. Good stuff.
So, Mike, are you dropping $650 on October 1st? That's when the UCS Venerator Lego kit is available for Lego VIP members.
No, I'm afraid I'm not. I'm still looking to save money for the Pac-Man machine.
Isn't that just the coolest?
It is so incredibly awesome. I really want to get that. And I would love to get the Batcave, but I know
the
that's
Batcave
not in my
shadow
budget.
box thing. Yeah, it's really cool too. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, not in my budget, I'm afraid. It's like the Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon and the Death Stars, when those came out, oh my gosh, I wanted them, but
yeah, spending the money on the UCS Millennium Falcon kit, while I would love to have that kit, first, that's a lot of money, and then second, where am I going to put it? And the Venerator UCS kit, it's the better part of a meter long.
Yeah, I know. I think about all the other kits I could get for the same money.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, just for anyone else who was not this time, because Dave mentioned, as Jeff can be invited to the Reaction Time episode on Tuesday, and I actually have a technical limitation. Until I can budget a new Mac for live streaming that's not an Intel model, I'm limited to 4 guests. That's it. I can't do any more than that. Ecamm Live stops at 4 on Intel. And then if you go to Apple Silicon, you can go up to 10. So
interesting.
So that there are no hurt feelings. I had a strict limitation of who I could invite. So I was actually, this time I wasn't doing a blanket invitation. I told Dave I was just doing one at a time, waiting to see who replied yes. And then once I knew I had the 4, I'm like, well, that's it. I'm done. I'm full. So, but you guys did a good job on Mac Geek Gab with yours.
Yeah, that was fun to listen to you guys this week.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It worked out either way.
And And don't worry, Mike, I was not offended in any way that
Dave was. Dave said you were horribly offended.
No, I did
God
not
damn
say
it, Dave,
that.
I told you not to say anything.